Wake up. It's time for Primal Scream.
All right, welcome back to the Primal Scream podcast. I'm Matt.
I am Todd.
And we're here today at the Great River Brewery. Okay, so we were down here for a little while, half hour or so. Wait, hold on a second. Before we get into that, you know what's good about It Works products? You can travel with them.
Why don't you put it in front of the camera so they can see what you're doing?
Well, a lot of times I like to juice. I do. Do you guys ever juice? You ever put vegetables, fruit into a juicer? What about a blender? You ever blend any of that stuff? Well, if you don't, and I do, but if I don't have time to do that, I'll grab one of these to-go It Works greens, and you get your daily allotment of fruits and vegetables.
That's great.
Work for your water.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. So we're just gonna watch you put this in the water.
Just put that right in the beer.
And just shake it. Oh, that's a good idea. That's a great idea.
You know what? I've never tried It Works in beer.
That way you get your carbs too.
Yeah.
Wow, that's good thinking.
All right. Jesus Christ. We're not going to sit here and watch you drink this whole fucking thing. Let's go.
Well, it's done already. See how quick that is?
Jeez.
All right, back to the brewery. So you guys are
I'm Paul.
Paul
Hey, and I'm Scott.
and Scott. And how long have you guys been here doing this?
We moved into this location in January of 09.
January of 09. And what is it like to be... I mean, did you guys have your microbreweries at home? You screwed around with that for a while and thought, oh my God, I got a good recipe.
I did not. I thought you should just get a job and stick with that. And so I started working at Abita in probably 95 and worked for Abita Brewing Company for 3 years, and then got hired as the brewer for Rock Bottom and opened up in Des Moines, worked there 7 years, and we started a brew pub in 04.
Where was your first brew pub at?
Iowa City.
Okay, where in Iowa City?
Sort of downtown on Gilbert Street, 525 South Gilbert.
Okay, you still have a shop down there?
We still have a bar
Okay.
that runs more like a craft beer bar now.
Okay.
And I think they do a very good job. They have 16 taps and, a host of craft beers.
Is it associated with you guys at all, or is it still the same? They're all on their own?
Oh, yeah, try to make it all on their own. It's better to be a craft beer bar than a defunct brew pub.
Okay.
And there's so many cool flavors of beer out there. It's kind of more fun to bring in what's new, what's fresh. So many craft beer bars, it's always trying to get the newest, freshest product that comes into the state.
Okay. And Scott, did you start out the same way, kind of? We're working at our brewery, and
I did not. That's why I love having him go first. I was that guy that, I think when I got married, my wife, bless her heart, got me a kit, got me everything so I could brew at home, and that's what I did. I got the books and read a ton, and then whenever I was on a vacation, I'd go visit Paul, and he'd use me as his labor, basically, so he could sit downstairs and drink beer.
Nice.
And I would, and I'd get free beer just for working all day.
Well, it got me excited because Kat gave me the tour, and she said that they have volunteers come in. I was like, so I can come down and volunteer?
Absolutely.
And she's like, oh, yeah, absolutely, and we'll give you a case of beer. And I'm like, well, that's even better. I would have come down just to can for the hell of it. I don't need any more beer. That's awesome. What a great idea to bring people in and make them more involved in the community and in your brew house. I mean, that's great to bring people in. I can't believe that's a great idea.
And you guys have brewery tours. So people come in on Fridays and Saturdays, right? And so what does that all consist of when they come in? What are they hoping to see?
I mean, I really think it depends which brewer or which person you're getting the tour from. But most of the time, they'll give you an actual tour, let you walk right up to the equipment, tell you what the function of the equipment and the process of the brewing is, and then when they're all done, they'll give you a full flight of tasters and tell you what we're trying to achieve and what you should be tasting in the beers, and then just for being a good sport, we'll probably buy you a couple of beers.
So how many different beers do you guys produce here?
Whew, that's a good question some days. I think we have like 5 house beers, and we have 4 session beers that we make mostly year-round. And then we do a seasonal every other month and a small batch version of something very special every other month also. So,
like the vanilla, you had one of those in the keg back there. Are those like special ones, or is that normal?
No, that doesn't even count.
It doesn't even count.
That's just putting beer into the barrels and barrel aging it. And then it sounds strange. Then besides all of that, every once in a while we get a bug up our ass that we want to do something fun or special or just try something out, and we'll pop one of those in too. So this year it was Paul's birthday, and just this year. But
special year.
On his birthday, he'd been wanting to. We've been talking about using Citra hops and doing a really fun Citra hop beer, and since it was his birthday and I'd gotten all these hops in, I couldn't say no. So
nice. How'd it turn out?
Awesome.
Was it awesome?
It's gone very fast.
And that's the cool thing about having a smaller business. If it was a huge brewery and you were set in your ways and you only offered 3 different types of beer and you had delivery dates and you couldn't screw around or fuck around at all, that would kind of suck. But here you have kind of free reign and you guys get to experiment a lot, sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, when I started out, I worked at Abita, and it was great because it was, close to New Orleans, and we had a lot of fringe benefits, and it was great. But as you started working production 24/7, you found out that it gets a little monotonous brewing the same beers over and over and over, and they only had so many seasonals back in the day. And if you were really lucky and they liked you, they would send you up to the brew pub where you got to make your own beer one time a year. So,
oh, really?
So yeah, and then when I started working at Rock Bottom, that was great because, man, Rock Bottom let you do anything you ever wanted to do. You could do as much of it as you wanted. You could get ingredients from anywhere in the world, and so I played around a lot, worked on a lot of theory.
So what are kind of the big main ingredients that you need? Let's say I don't know much about beer. I just like drinking it. What are kind of the main things that you're looking for in a beer?
There's 4. Go ahead. Well, you got malted barley. And different countries sort of specialize in different versions of it. And then you have hops, and I think America has the best hops in the world. And yeast is sourced from all over the world, and that's what makes that special. And then the water. So wherever you're located, kind of depicts what kind of water you can get. And there's some guys who are pretty good at messing with the water and adding salts and other things to it to get it to taste like water from other places. And
really,
from there you can play around.
So do you guys detest normal average beer from the grocery store, or you obviously have no need to buy that? But I mean, overall, do you once in a while somebody says, "Hey, here's a light beer"? I mean,
I'm a user, not a pusher, and I mean, obviously, we get put in situations all the time where, if they don't serve our beer and there's something else there. 9 times out of 10, we won't drink it and we'll drink water. No.
Right. Oh, shit. I thought he was serious. I thought he was saying, that's awesome.
No, I only drink our stuff. That's it.
Sometimes I'm not a beer snob. I love to brew beer. I love beer. So we'll always drink other beers.
Sure.
It's like saying you only get hamburgers from that one place with the arches.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like for Wendy to get us a flight if she's cool with that.
Yeah?
And then we can taste it. You guys can tell us about it. Are you okay with that?
Sure.
Okay. You guys can chat it up. I'll go.
All right.
Cool.
So, did you? We'll cover a little current events while Todd's doing his thing. Thank you, waitress. I make fun of him while he's gone.
Fries with that?
Yeah, fries. Curly fries, please. So, Upper Russia. I know some people. We interview some people. We have them on the podcast. CrossFit managers, other people that own businesses, and I ask them about current events or what's going on in the world. They're like, hey, listen, all I do is CrossFit. All I think about is my business. It's 24/7. I wake up, I think about what I got to get done for the day. Have you heard of Russia and how they are delivering pizzas now by drones? Have you heard of that?
I did not hear that.
That's just a recent thing. It's just a recent thing. We pull up some current events, try to timestamp our podcast with what's going on in the world.
Sure.
But
mean, it's crazy because, on the Discovery Channel, I see that, in Siberia, they're chopping down the trees and punching each other, the Americans and the Russians, and, next to Poland and the Ukraine, there's potential invasions, but I didn't hear about drones and pizzas.
There's just those.
Exciting.
It's just those small. Well, I thought if that transfers over here, I mean, Amazon
to the troops.
Yeah. I mean, because Amazon was thinking about using small drones to deliver packages. Did you guys hear about that?
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Would you guys ever entertain the idea of delivering some beer by drone?
I think that is a definite violation of the 3-tier system. I think our distributor would have to have the drones.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Where all can people go to? Is there too many to list, or should we just go to your website to look at all the different places that we can get?
You should just ask Scott where we deliver beer to.
Yeah. No, typically we're in 3 states now. It's we're in Illinois, most of the greater Illinois area. Have yet to reach into the Chicago and land area and the suburbs. Maybe we'll try to attack that in the next 5 years. It's a good 5-year plan. But other than that, we're in majority of the state of Iowa and also North Dakota.
Now, when somebody wants to get one of your beers, is it in like Hy-Vee grocery stores?
Yeah, we're in all the Hy-Vee.
Yeah.
Sure.
So now if I want to just revisit this podcast, all I got to do is go to the Hy-Vee. Where did you guys get these? Because these are unique. We're trying to find, we drink a lot on our podcast in the studio. We're looking for interesting glasses and tumblers. Where did you guys get these?
We sourced those from a company called Grandstand.
Yeah?
Out of Kansas. They have some fairly interesting glassware, and we've worked with them for years and years and years. The gal that's doing a lot of our glassware in the tasting room, she found them, and
I love this shot over here by Todd. Now, that is what you will get if you want a sampling of your beers. Mm-hmm. Yeah? And then you have the growler behind, which reminds me of like an old whiskey bottle.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. A local, I would even say a local artisan came in, a guy that just loves beer and loves to do a lot of woodworking. Just like us, I mean, as he's drinking, idea came to him. He's like, oh my God. It's like, that makes perfect sense. And he just, he asked us for some barrels and took them all apart and came up with that. And it's pretty cool. I mean, for us, it's part of the beer process too. We do barrel aged beers, and I think it marries very well. Better than a paddle.
That's a great. Yeah, it's all you. I mean, you're absolutely.
So
right.
what do we got all the way to the right here? What beer is that all the way to the right?
I don't know. Why don't you just sample it and see what
I'm gonna sample it. Maybe it was the one I was already drinking. It might have been.
Huh. It says seasonal.
Nope, it wasn't. It's not. It's got like a lemon.
Is it your birthday beer?
Probably Chickawawa.
It is not. I'm betting it's Chickawawa. It's our lemon ale.
Oh, shit! That is good.
That's very good. If you're not into the really stout, hard, dark, that's a great one to do.
Well, we wanted to make a golden ale, something that's great during the summertime, and then it's got natural lemon juice in it. And,
is it sacrilegious to say if I put that on ice, it would probably be pretty awesome?
No, that's actually makes a great beer teeny, and we have a lot of people that do. I mean, anything that you'd have lemonade or something in, substitute that instead, and a lot of people making cocktails with it as well.
I was going to say that with some vodka on ice would be tremendous. That's real trouble after a while.
The next podcast.
A couple of weeks ago, we made Pim's cups and substituted that for the lemon and soda.
Yeah. Oh, really?
It was awesome.
Oh, man, that is really good.
Well, by the way, so that I don't forget and you can remind me if I do, we brought you guys a present today.
Yeah. Psh.
Wow.
I had it all set up. So you just calm your.
Well, I'm tickling the undercarriage. I'm getting them excited.
Don't tick. It has to do.
Now they're wondering.
You can tickle Scott's undercarriage.
Okay. Now they're wondering what exactly could we possibly bring them.
Yeah,
as a treat.
Some GoPro cameras.
I hope it's a nice. I hope it's a nice treat.
Well, we do have that bike ride this week.
Yeah, and you can wear them on your head. What do we got next? What's this?
It's a mystery to me.
Small batch series, it says, but I don't know if that's.
Curious myself.
I am too.
It's pretty hoppy. Something like an IPA of some sort.
The Arsenal, maybe?
Smell it.
Yeah, give it a shot.
It's either the Arsenal or the Herd. Yeah.
It's the Herd. Wait,
Yeah, drink it all.
it's Arsenal.
Ooh, Arsenal.
It's an Imperial Red Ale, so that should be about 10%.
I really like
sip it.
I really like jobs where you can drink on duty. Why do I need to sip it?
It's 10%. You have to drive.
Oh, right. I'm driving. Okay. Enjoy.
Now this is. I mean, what's the difference between hops? Barley, all those. I mean, why? How come hops has like that kind of like bitter kind of bite to it? I mean, I've gotten used to that over the years, and I really enjoy it now. At the beginning, when I first started drinking beer, I was like, it's kind of tough to handle, but now I really enjoy it.
I think there's they correlate with the beer. I mean, especially if they're done right. So you have more alcohol in them, you can have more hops in something to balance it out.
Oh.
If you have really low alcohol and just a ton of hops, it's just going to taste like grass clippings basically in there, or be difficult.
That would go good with my juice.
Yeah,
it could be. You never know. Add it, give it a little shake, and then slam it down.
Well, I tasted your guys' beers, which is when I first met Alex, the guy who was at the Nubo Market tasting show. My wife and I actually hid under his tent during the torrential downpours.
Refugees.
Yeah, refugees. And I was telling him then, and the same things so far here is, I mean, you guys' beer has a really sharp, clean finish to all of it. I mean, I guess I don't usually care too much about lingering taste, but they all seem to be pretty clean on the end. Is that a special way you brew beer, or I mean, how's that work?
Yeah, I would say, beer changes all the time, and the styles don't change, but the way people interpret the styles do. And for our pale ales or something that is hoppy, we've kind of gravitated more towards having really accentuating the aroma hops in it.
Okay.
I guess our dry hopping procedure, the way we hop burst beers, and then we also have a device that we call a hop back, and all of that really accentuates the hop character, but it accentuates more of that aroma. So you get the smell and you get the taste, but it doesn't stick to your tongue in a resinous form and just make it so you can't feel or taste any longer.
Okay.
And it's just something that we really enjoy.
And is that something that somebody who has like a little microbrewer in their garage is going to be able to figure out, or is that something you learn from his years of brewing?
Well, I think what Scott's talking about is not having that long aftertaste from some of the hop bitterness. And I think if you look back in the 80s, that was kind of the evolution of the pale ale, where that was actually valued. People wanted that because they're like, wow, this is really hoppy. And then as the 90s and the 2000s have come along, it's sort of changed. And now it's like, I want a big hit of the hops and not a lot of aftertaste. So I think pale ales and hoppy beers in general have sort of evolved.
And you can tune that in.
Yeah, I think there's some new research and of course experimentation helps too. But instead of forward hopping beers, they're adding hops later into the boil and a lot more dry hopping. And then in doing that, you get more flavor and aroma and less of the actual bitterness.
Kat and I talked about it earlier. She's always excited to come in, and it's a science experiment day. Every day is this science experiment. It sounds like craft beer making really is subtle little twists to a kind of grand old science experiment to try different things and do different things.
Oh, absolutely. Recipe formulation and all of that, especially like that Chickawawa lemon ale that you had. That's been a work in progress, I would say, literally for 2 years, kind of tuning it in. And even our mainstay beers, if there's something that we feel that we can do to make it even better, we'll take the chance and we'll do it because we always want it to be the best that it can be. So,
well, I think I'm going to buy a 4-pack of that Chihuahua before I go home. And 4th of July weekend coming up at his house is a huge party. And so I think I'm going to take that and I'm going to try some cocktails with it and see how it goes.
Sounds good to me. As long as I can have some.
What do we got next? You'll be at work, so it's okay. You'll be at work.
You got a podcast on the 4th of July, too?
It never stops.
Podcast from the 4th?
It never stops. What do we got?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's good, too.
Rolling Stout.
It's not
Rolling Stout?
She said that they're out of the stouts right now, I think.
Okay.
That's kind of nice. That's nice, too.
Yeah, I actually think it's...
Yeah.
We reversed Herd and Arsenal, but I don't know.
Yeah, what was this one?
That's the Auni Irish Red.
The Auni Irish Red.
Red Ale.
All right.
Malty, very caramely.
Malty, I like that.
Malty, caramely.
Oh, darn, I drank it all. There you go.
It's got a nice Irish yeast in it.
All right, so you guys are 3-0 for me because I've been to enough tastings over the years where I'll get a flight and I'll be like, oh, that's good. Oh, Jesus, that's rough.
For the love of God.
That's okay. You know, and I kind of so far those are some really nice. Especially you. You're not into a lot of different kind of beers.
I'm not.
Either.
I'm not really into the really dark beers.
Look at that. The next one up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then the next one's a really dark one.
Don't be afraid of the dark.
I'm gonna try it. But you know, I'm a fairly cheap fella, and so is my lady. Don't tell her I said that she's cheap. But we'll just go with the
Frugal.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
Frugal. Is that pretty?
I like that one.
You like this one, so it's gonna be tough for me.
Big. Think Tootsie Roll.
Yeah.
Really? Think Tootsie Roll? Oh, I like the smell.
All right.
Chocolate.
What? I can try everything. He was smelling it. Why can't I look like what I know what I'm doing? It smells good. I actually like that one a lot.
It's not very carbonated. Is that kind of just because of the way the beer is?
Which one is this?
I think that one has a little lower carbonation rate.
Farmer Brown Ale.
Farmer Brown Ale. I really like, for the record, I really like Farmer Brown Ale.
I like that one. What a difference between this and like the Chihuahua.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, high carbonation, fruity, light. This is lower carbonation.
You know, there's a beer for everybody. And some people, that's why doing what we do, you know, you always have to have thick skin because, you know, we'll always have people come up to us and either say, oh my gosh, I love that, that was fantastic, or, oh, I can't drink that. And, you know, my response always is, well, there's a beer for everybody. I mean, you may not like that, but you'll like that. So
yeah, and you offer all of it.
Absolutely.
I love that first Chihuahua. It's very, I don't know.
You know,
easy.
We actually, hey, Dawn, can you go grab one of those Chihuahua cans so they can read the description on it?
Oh, they'll love it.
You'll love the description of it. I gotta wait till she gets it.
Is it hot? Is it hot? Okay. Good job, Scott.
Hey,
your anticipation's amazing.
You know what? While we're waiting, before you drink that next beer, why don't you give us another current event? I already talked about drones in Russia.
Oh, for the pizza delivery?
And we've talked about how possibly Great River Brewery might be delivering beers in the future. Who knows when, with drones.
Well, I'm really glad that you picked the one positive current event that we had, and
I'll give you the negative ones.
And I get 4 shitty ones.
I'll give you the negative ones. Well, not everything can be sweet and sugar-coated. Go ahead. What do you got?
Let's see. Child prostitution.
You got child prostitution.
Climate change. What was the other one?
Well, actually, the child prostitution thing, that's kind of a double-edged sword. It's horrible to even talk about and to think of it happening. But the positive thing is we found a bunch of, or no, I shouldn't say we.
170
girls were found
in the U.S.
and rescued from child prostitution in the U.S.
281 pimps were arrested. 170 kids were rescued. Isn't that in America?
It's just disgusting.
It's just I can't.
We have young kids, and I always just think of, you know, when you see your child and you see that innocence and somebody robbing a child of that, it's just horrible.
I always think of Tombstone when Doc Holliday, he says that he's like, what's a guy like? What's a guy wrong with a guy like Ringo? What's he trying to fill that hole in his world for? He's like, because he was born. He just needs to destroy things that are innocent and pure, and I think you have people out there like that. They just don't care
evil.
about things like that.
Yeah. Horrible people.
Good. Move on, please.
Yeah,
Jesus.
I'm going to move on. Thanks for that uplifting current event.
We will edit that thing right out of there. That was horrible.
You know we need a beer. And this is the Chickawawa, and it's that girly drink that men will secretly drink from time to time. Just taste it. I wonder what they're trying to say to me. I don't know if I might keep this
Pucker
here.
up.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that's fantastic. Session series. Does this mean it's like one of a certain kind of things you guys are trying new, or...
Is it is everything that you guys do kind of a limited time?
Look at those lemons on there.
You're going to evolve into everything. Things are constantly evolving.
Not always. Last year we decided we were going to make a series of beers. We chose 4 of them, and we'd make them a little lower in alcohol so you could have more of them on your weekend and without getting wrecked. And we chose, this is one of them, and it's our lemon ale. And then we did a dirty blonde chocolate ale, and then Dos Pastelos, like a Mexican dark, and then a golden ale. This one's actually only available through the summer.
Okay.
So stock up. I'm telling people right now that
Well, I'm not stocking up, but maybe my wife will come back.
It's a really wonderful beer.
Drink it while it's fresh.
That's right. Just keep coming back.
It's a great beer.
We'll make it again.
It's awesome.
I mean, there's some beers.
Not that I would buy it. My wife might buy it. I might drink it when she brings it home.
I'll drink it. I don't mind. I'll admit it.
You may secretly want to just have one sip.
That's right. Honey, just let me taste it. Make sure it's okay for you.
Well, there's those hard lemonades that are people that like that lemony taste, and they go to those hard lemonades. It's so sweet that it gives you gut rot by the time you finish one drink.
And it's a malt liquor, too. I mean, it's harsh, I think.
And I could see myself easily drinking quite a few of those Chickawawas.
So this is Roller Dam Red. Does that sound about right? Okay. This is the one that we had earlier.
Oh, this is the one.
It's a different one. We did an Irish red ale, and we also have a Roller Dam red ale. So again,
it's one of my favorites.
Spicy, spinach.
Is it one of your standards? This one? Okay.
It's a year-round house beer.
That's fantastic beer.
I gotta tell you, one of the most fun things is literally, when you're standing milling in up on the mill stand, and you're looking out, and you're just looking at the roller dam right there. So it's
That's
pretty
awesome.
cool. It's a cool view, and not that it's a current event, but one of those useless trivia facts is Davenport has this roller dam is the largest active roller dam in the entire world.
Really?
So.
And this is for what river?
It's a small one. It's not very well known.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it is the largest active roller dam.
Well, now, do you guys ever have to worry about flooding?
Never.
I mean, because it seems like it's a
Mike
little
Clark
close.
Here with the city does such an awesome job of flood protection and protecting the property around here that in the past 5 years since we've been here, everything's been awesome.
Well, because there's been a lot of heavy storms rolling through the area lately, and looks dry as a bone.
They do an amazing job once it does get to flood stage or above flood stage. They roll out the Haskells, and it's amazing the military precision that they take to put all this in place, and the pumps to keep everybody dry and in business. So.
We need sandbaggers. We're good at lifting sand. You call us, and we'll come down and help.
Yeah, if you need us to I'll sandbag all around your Chickawawa. Todd can be out here stacking around the door
for sandbags.
Are you gonna finish that?
Yeah, I'm gonna finish this one. I might make you drive home.
This is the 483 Pale Ale.
Yeah, that's the mile marker right here on the Mississippi.
That's fantastic.
That's a little heavier.
Oh, don't be a baby.
I'm just describing it for people.
It's a little heavy. That's not a good description. You haven't tasted it yet.
Well, it's heavier for me because I have feminine qualities.
Just say it.
And you know what? It smells heavy, but
citrusy.
That is a delicious drink. That's something I can see myself drinking a lot of. And what is this one called again?
483 Pale Ale.
483. Yeah, I'm down with that. Do you want to finish that?
No,
or
you
should I?
You can finish it.
Thank you.
That's okay.
I'm going to.
It's
That's
nice
fantastic.
when you have someone that currently just keeps
Vanna.
carrying beer out to you.
It's a wonderful thing.
mean,
It's almost like I'm at home with
She's
my
a lot quicker
8-year-old.
than you as well. I mean,
Not that you're an 8-year-old. Very sweet person. Thank you very much for bringing this stuff up.
28-year-old.
The Dirty Blonde.
So
Go for it. Have some fun with that.
Chocolate ale.
pop a couple of them.
Oh my God. Well, I love the can. Who comes up with the artwork for the
First
cans?
of all, just before you even drink it, pour some in a glass and smell it. That's
Here
the
you go.
most fun with this.
I got it. It's empty. Go ahead, try it out.
Sort of a blonde ale, and we infuse real Italian chocolate into it.
Really?
And so it's really fun because, and I love that this is explicit. So Paul and I love to fuck with people's minds, and so this was kind of our mind fuck beer because when you think chocolate ale, everyone's always thinking,
Why is it not brown?
Yeah, why isn't it not? Why isn't it brown
All right.
or dark? But
By
that's
the way,
why.
I can smell it from over here. I can smell
Yeah.
that.
So it's really big and chocolatey, but yet it's a blonde ale.
Perfect for you.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Can I try? Hey, don't hog
No.
it. Let's go.
All right, here you go. Yeah, it tastes like chocolate milk.
She's dirty.
It tastes like fucking chocolate milk. There's kids around, so I quieted down the effing. But
This beer
anyway,
reminds
it's
me of my
okay.
wife.
What?
Reminds me of my wife.
Why?
She's a blonde, but
A dirty blonde?
But I wish she was dirty. Does that help?
We're gonna go see a hypnotist pretty soon. Have you guys ever seen? Have you ever gone to a hypnotist?
God, that's great.
Or have you ever gone to a comedy show where the comedian's a hypnotist?
I have not. I'm not a believer.
Really?
Oh, Scott.
All right.
You're gonna be a believer.
Yeah.
Okay,
Just a second. All right. All right. So Todd's
So-
going to tell you a story. It
That-
may or may not be true. It's true.
Last
It's true.
last podcast, we had Doug Thompson. Sorry,
Thompson
that he is a
Comedian.
hypnotist.
Hypnotist.
But he also does therapy on the side.
also does photos.
Makes you laugh. Like
Makes you
people
laugh and makes you act
Yeah.
like silly, right?
And he does
so
voices.
He's been hypnotized a couple times, like Vegas, things like that. And he talked about how it really is like you feel like you're kind of like your inhibitions are lowered, and
It's
you kind of choose to do the things
Yeah,
they
it's
tell
the total
you.
difference between being stone cold sober. You know, would you take your pants off and run around the block? No. Stone cold sober? Maybe not. Maybe you would. I don't know. Maybe you would. Drunk?
We're going streaking.
Drunk? Drunk, you may entertain that idea. You know, you may entertain that. So that's how I felt being hypnotized. Was
That you want to go streaking?
that I wanted to go streaking.
Drop the pants and just go.
Why not?
Good for you.
But yeah, your inhibitions are kind of gone. All right, so go ahead.
So Doug, we're all done with the podcast. We walk upstairs. We have 5 kids. They're all there. We're standing there saying goodbye to him. And he's like, oh, he has an audience. So he's like, all right, everybody stand up, put your hands together. And he starts seeing who's more susceptible to
Yeah, he puts us all through a
hypnotism
test.
to see who it is or not. He starts going under like right away. And
I
even
can't keep my fingers apart.
even Doug's
I
going.
can't keep my fucking fingers apart.
Doug goes, let me try something. Look at your hand. Okay, focus on your
All right.
hand. Focus on my voice. And I can see
listen,
I'm behind
he grabbed
him
me.
laughing.
He grabbed me. It could have been a Vulcan mind trick for all I know, but he grabbed my wrist like this. He goes, all right, now look at your palm of your hand.
And his body goes like this.
I think he choked me out somehow.
He was out cold, and all of a sudden Doug goes, oh, hey, buddy.
Started slapping my shoulder and laughing at me. This is what I remember. I remember him grabbing my arm. I remember looking at my hand. And then I remember everybody laughing really hard.
My butt feels funny.
Doug Thompson would never do that. He would never do that.
But
He would
you'll
never
need-
take advantage of a full-grown
So
man.
we're
That
actually-
you would remember.
Yeah.
yeah.
So next weekend we're actually going to see, or next week we're actually going to see a
Next week.
true
Well, he's a true
hypnotherapist.
Yeah, but he's a true hypnotherapist.
But he makes his money doing comedy.
He makes money doing comedy, and he also does hypnotherapy
Helping people
by word of
quit
mouth.
Smoking. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lose weight, quit smoking,
Paul's
be a better
got
human being.
way to quit smoking.
I committed to a friend one time that, I would be 100% committed to him if he was committed to the program. So,
When you say committed to him,
and his wanting to quit smoking.
okay?
I said, I'm all in. Here's what's going to happen. You have to be honest with me, though. Every time you feel the urge and you actually give in to smoke that cigarette, you have to call me, and I will be on total standby for you.
You're a good friend.
I will drive to wherever you are, and I will punch you as hard as I can right in the mouth.
Fantastic.
3 cigarettes later, he's a non-smoker.
I'm scared and I'm not a smoker.
Who did we have Doug do the voice of? He's one of my favorite
Christopher
voices.
Walken.
Christopher Walken.
There you go.
So, Todd threatened to punch me in the fucking face. And I told Doug that I love Christopher Walken's voice. So Doug in turn went, I'm going to punch you in the fucking face.
You're getting better every time you do it. You get a little bit better.
You get a little bit better?
Yeah.
I'm an amateur. But Doug did a great job of it. So that's seriously, the guy hated smoking that much that he wanted you.
Well, I think he was at a point in his life where he decided that he needed to quit smoking and he needed some help. I had some anger issues back in the day, and I needed.
And so they married together
Great
perfectly.
program. I encourage people all the time to enroll in it.
Yeah, that's pretty
Any
amazing.
smoker that I see, I'm like, oh, I got a program.
This will
I'm
cure
getting so
you.
old now that, you know,
Like
it's
no
like,
other.
you could get in a bar fight, and I just say, no, let's just say you win, and I'll buy you a drink, because even if I hit you hard and I win, it's going to hurt tomorrow.
Let's just say we were doing that smoking thing when the cops come.
Yeah.
I was helping you with that smoking thing.
So should I give him a little surprise?
Yeah, do the surprise. I'm excited to see.
All right.
One, I'm surprised. I'm going to be surprised if you guys even know what he's talking about. But two, I think it's pretty cool. Let him describe it to you.
My brother-in-law just came from Belgium.
Yay.
And he brought me my birthday present.
Yay.
It's about old West Leverin. No.
Yeah.
It is.
Nice. Well,
And so Todd wanted to bring this beer here for you guys.
thank you so much.
Awesome.
That is incredible.
I figured we could all sample it if you guys are okay with that.
Should.
Absolutely.
You know, we make a tripel now.
Do you really?
We do, so we should probably.
Is it for sale?
It is.
It is.
Okay, my wife loves Tripel, so I'm gonna buy some of that too. I'm gonna walk out here with a case of beer for
Absolutely
sure.
So you guys know what this is about.
Oh, absolutely.
You know all about this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So basically, if
Yummy.
you know anything about beer and you're producing beer, you would know what this is. Why don't you tell people what this is? Because Todd told me, but he sucks as a narrator.
Well,
Why
I'd
don't
like
you guys
to hear
tell?
what he said. 'Cause
Well,
at this
what-
point, it's third hand, right?
Well, all I know is my brother-in-law drove all over the countryside of Belgium getting this coupon
Coupons.
that allowed him to be in line to give to the monk that came out to give everybody their beer. And so for my birthday, he bought me the 6-pack, and I had the little glasses for it and everything. I guess it's kind of crazy, but I actually don't know. I know that they only really do it just to put money into their coffers for standard, like a new roof, or they need to fix fences. They don't spend any more money than they absolutely need to do it. And the one time they sold it in America, it went really quick. And it was to buy a new roof, and they got enough money to buy a new roof.
Okay,
Isn't
so
that crazy?
this is what I thought was crazy. I mean, I like beer. I enjoy beer, and I enjoy the effect of beer. But that beer is $100 a bottle, correct?
We can buy if you bought a 6-pack in the United States.
Oh, a 6-pack is $100.
Oh, it depends. No, you can buy a 6-pack for $100.
No, you couldn't.
You can't even find it. That's the hard.
find
You
it.
can't find it.
On eBay,
It's
you
pretty
might be
scarce.
able to.
That's how rare this is.
Well, the bottles are $20 just for an empty bottle on eBay. So I'm not sure what the effect of a bottle
So did you
is,
guys
but-
want to open this, or did you want to maybe sleep with it?
No, I say we
No, I'm all for let's drink a little bit of it.
Okay.
All right.
I'll go get some glasses.
Okay.
I'll let you stay here this time because I know where they are.
Okay.
I'm a little faster.
only a handful of monastery breweries left in the world. I don't know the exact number, probably 4, maybe 5, depending on whose scale you're going by. And they're one of the ones that they continue to make beer, but like he said, they do it on sort of a limited batch basis. It's not like they're trying to stock every grocery store shelf in the world. And I've had a couple of opportunities to drink this before, and one was from a guy who found his way to the back of this building, and he sort of snuck in their back gate, you can kind of imagine.
Okay.
And he finds this guy standing between the gate and the building outside doing some work, and and he's trying to act like the crazy American lost tourist.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, where am I exactly? You know, and the guy won't answer him, and he's befuddled as to why this guy won't talk, and he's clearly trying to communicate with him. They have a vow of silence at this monastery.
Oh.
So to get him to leave, he actually gave him a couple of bottles of beer, so he'd walk out the gate, back down the alley, and shoo off. Yeah.
Whoa.
Holy cow. So
That's a good experience right there.
if I don't want to talk to you, Todd, all I got to do is give you some beer and push you out my front door.
Yeah.
All right.
You always knew it was that easy.
Done deal.
Oh,
I gotta imagine
I
bad
like
sense
these
of humor
too.
among monks, though, right? I mean, you know, you gotta have some fun, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you would think.
So you're brewing. You're not allowed to talk. I'm not talking. I throw a little bit of 200-degree water on you. See what you do.
And then you're like,
Gotcha.
You can't say anything.
I just have a shitload of beer over here. Holy cow.
Hey, I'll help you with some of that.
Here, I'll-
Which one? Thank you. I have a bunch of beer over here.
Here, why don't you take that?
Okay. Is this the chocolate?
Chocolate.
Love it.
Which I can't get enough of. I can love that chocolate.
Oh,
Thank you. What's this?
That is the Tripel.
Tripel.
Oh, the
Thank you.
Tripel.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Wendy, you're doing a great job, by the way. Thanks
Thank you,
for all
Wendy.
Your help.
You bet. Anytime.
This is the Tripel.
The original Belgian Pale Ale.
And I like this too. There's nothing so far that I've tried that I'm like, no, I can't finish that.
That's sweet.
Sweeter.
It's sweet-
absolutely.
Sweeter, yeah.
Sweeter.
Starts off a little sweet.
Very
and then-
fruity.
Okay.
High in alcohol, though.
High in alcohol, is that
yeah,
okay?
9%.
There you go. That's what I remember of the Trappist beers. It's a little bit higher in
It's a
alcohol,
little
and you can taste.
deceptive. I mean, the
Yeah, it
sweetness
is.
kind of cuts it. And
Yeah.
Hey, just so that
Solid
everybody
note.
at home who's watching this doesn't get scared, Todd and I are just going to hang out after we drink and after the podcast.
Go swimming in our swimming
Maybe
pool.
go swimming in the big
Fountain
do you-
pool.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
the fountain, and you'll see a picture of that right bink there. So, yeah, don't worry about us driving home drunk. We'll sober up. You cracked it open. I almost feel like we need to do like a prayer or a ceremony after the big
Get
deal that
some,
was made
some
about this.
chanting going.
Maybe some chanting.
some Gregorian chant.
There you go.
Somebody's glasses are on the ground. Right behind you.
Thanks, pal.
The shade.
See.
So if you are a beer, I'm sorry, we stopped talking for a while. If you're listening to this
We're very
purely MP3 wise on your radio driving, we're still here. But I was appreciating the pour of this. What's the name of the beer again? What's on the bottle?
West Levin.
Westlevin.
West Levin.
And it's considered, is it in the top 5 or is it number 1? How close is it? Somebody said it was in the...
Let's just call it in the top 10.
Yeah.
Top
But
10?
It's a
Top 10.
fabulous beer.
Okay. I'm excited to try it.
Hey, cheers, everybody.
Cheers, gentlemen. Thanks so much
Thank
for having
y'all.
us. Woo. That's fruity.
Fruity, spicy,
Dark fruit like plums and
cran.
Now, when you guys drink
Plums and
something like
crayons.
this,
That's...
does it spark imagination on what you might try?
I
In
am
the future?
not joining a momonastery.
The vow of silence? You're not going to do the vow of silence?
I think it's the vowel. I think that's the least of his worries for the vowel
Yeah.
science. At least my worries would be the vowel science.
I think sometimes we're at our most creative. It seems like whenever we're doing label designs or coming up with beers, anything like that, we always
So you guys do your own label designs. You guys do your own.
Well, for the most part, we come up with concepts, and then when we get to a point, we have other people help us illustrate them.
yeah.
So
Yeah, because the lemon one is
The Chickawawa.
Chickawawa has got a great label.
Yeah, I love the
That's
whole.
really
yeah.
that's really different. Now listen, I'm not trying to pump you up too much, but I think I'd take half your flight over this. This is kind of a unique situation.
I can appreciate.
Well, it's
this.
unique, but it's also traveled, halfway around the world.
Sure.
And, when you look at even freshness of a product and it's in glass, so light can get to it. I mean, for all that it's been through, it's fantastic.
Tastes
And
pretty great.
It's one of those mythical beers that most people dream about. It's that anticipation. Think about Coors, the banquet beer. I mean, in its heyday, people were driving all the way to Colorado to get it. Why? Because they couldn't.
Oh,
Smokey and the Bandit watching Son of
my only recollection is traveling to Davenport from Cedar Rapids to get Zima when it came out
Zima.
in the early
There you go.
90s.
Well, you had to put like a Jolly Rancher in it, right?
I just drank it. Was like 7-Up.
Wasn't that the thing?
It was kind of for you and your girly beers. Probably put a.
Well, I had like Z
I'd be afraid I'd
Cavaricci's.
choke on the Jolly Rancher. I don't know. Wow. If I finished the Zima.
Z Cavaricci.
You remember that,
Nice.
right?
Oh, yeah.
Sure. Peg leg in your pants.
Some triple stitch Jordache.
Gotta stay totally silent on this.
I didn't have the triple stitch.
Scott still has a members only jacket.
Members
Good for
only.
No, actually, and I
He's
know
not
you
the last member.
Have one too, because we're going to do the members only bar crawl.
Yes.
That's why. So
Oh, nice.
they're pretty hard to find nowadays.
Well, we have a very good friend of ours who's on the podcast from time to time, and he wears fanny packs probably every day. And so I religiously make fun of him and his fanny packs, and he works really, really hard at convincing me how useful they are and how practical they are. And
Hey,
that
purses are practical
it's
and
my
useful
problem,
too.
not his
but I'm not
problem.
going to walk around with a
Sure,
purse.
Sure. He wants to live in Europe, or did he live in Europe for a
No,
little while?
he never lived in Europe.
in Europe.
He might love Europe.
No, he wouldn't like Europe
Planting
at
his
all.
own garden.
There's no Ron Paul in Europe, so he wouldn't be very happy over there.
Well, it's not like he's meeting Ron Paul
He'd
face
see
to
other
face
people
here.
with fanny packs, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Capris and a fanny pack.
There you go. Oh,
Thank you.
What?
I thought it was delicious.
The nice part was.
Yeah, thank you, Todd.
The nice part was sharing it with you guys. That was kind of cool.
And thank you to your brother-in-law who brought it back and was
Yep.
thinking of you. It was perfect timing to be able to share it with these guys.
Well, and I will
to come do this.
We'll give it to him because he's the one who's like, "You're
So-
going to that brewery, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "You better take one of those bottles of beer with you." I'm
So
like,
does that mean he has 5 other brothers or brothers-in-law? Or
I wish. That'd be great. It was funny because his suitcase was 85 pounds. He paid extra for it because rolled within every pair of T-shirt or pants was some other kind of Belgian
Right.
beer that he was bringing back with him to try.
So, do you guys want to do like a
Pilgrimage to Mecca.
Yeah. Do you ever feel like you want to do a pilgrimage over to Europe, to Germany, and try and drink some of their beer fresh, whatever they're doing?
Absolutely. It's on the bucket list, absolutely.
Is it?
I'd love to go to an Oktoberfest and just
That'd be
whoop
pretty
it
cool.
up. I think it'd be a blast. And I would love to go to Belgium
Prague,
and
Brussels.
just see the whole country. I mean, besides large breweries, there's also those little tiny farmhouse breweries too, where the family basically lives, their house is their brewery, and I just love
Really?
to see it all.
Oh God, I never heard that before. That's awesome.
So
That'd be the most interesting thing. Forget those big breweries. It'd be kind of neat to find a small farm that did stuff like that. That'd be a hell of a lot more interesting.
I don't know how I'd communicate with them though.
Oh,
Just be like,
you have
empty.
your easy communication. I think.
Stupid American.
Euros.
You're right on the river. There's a lot of festivals that happen in the area. A few years ago, we came down for the blues and the jazz festivals in the area. What's coming up soon that you're gearing up for?
We've got 2 things. The most immediate, believe it or not, is we're doing a collaboration beer just with the RME, which is the River Music Experience. So we're doing a beer called Vintage Blonde. It's a Kolsch style ale, and proceeds from the beer on our side and on their side will really go to promote their mission. They're not for profit. They not only bring fantastic music in here, but they also do a lot of education for the youth and music, and they do rock camps and
Oh, cool.
all kinds of great things. And so we're pretty stoked that we're able to to collaborate on this, and that's going to be coming out. And then when it does, it'll also be in cans in time for River Roots Live, which is in August, and that's one of the area great music festivals. But the same weekend that we launched the Vintage Blonde with them, it's also the Blues Fest here in town.
Really?
And man, that's just fantastic. Right in LeClaire Park, and there's so many great musicians. And I mean, this town has so many great festivals. I absolutely love it. I think it's part of being in a river town. You know, there's always some kind of debauchery going on. And I'm glad we get to take part in it.
That's awesome. What was the transition from Iowa City to Davenport tough at all in the sense of, I mean, I think Iowa City is kind of a cultural center as well. So, I mean, it must be, was it an easy transition to come down here and do this?
I thought it was very easy. Now,
hey! Because spilling his beer over here.
Because why,
Paul? I
Paul?
love the restaurants, and I like the cultural scene there.
What's going on? There's the backstory.
He's talking.
It was a hard place to run a business, particularly a brew pub. You know, being downtown, you know, the beers that we're making are fairly expensive to make, and when you're in a downtown college scene like Iowa City, you know, you got to admit that there's a $2 drink at a bar every night of the week.
Sure.
So,
right.
You know, that stuff like that just made it tough. You couple that with, we didn't want to run a restaurant, so we got out of the restaurant business and we want to package beer and stuff like that. So this is a much easier place. I mean, you guys have been here for a couple hours now. It's pretty laid back, and we're downtown.
It's nice.
So, and business-wise, it's very friendly, and it's just easy going. It's just a different scene.
Yeah.
I like it because, I mean, the Blues Fest when I came down with my wife was pretty awesome. And then I dipped my tire in the river down here in Ragbri 2 years ago. That was kind of fun because we came in on the same route that I was dragging my ass in on the last day of Ragbri when we came in today.
Have you guys ever done Ragbri?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You have?
Yeah.
I will never do it.
Is there a Great River brewery
I'll
team?
drive the truck to set up the tents and drink.
We were
I'll do
a
a day or
sponsor
two.
of like Team Good
I don't wanna do
Beer,
the
and
whole
I know
Really?
we
Not how I
try
wanna
to
spend the whole
donate
week.
beer to them every year. This weekend we're doing a Baccoon ride over. Does it start in Perry, Iowa, or start somewhere over there? It should be a blast. It's a 70-mile ride.
Adel, Waukee,
whatever. So
Redfield, Dexter. One of
it'll be
those
fun.
things.
Oh, fun.
You know,
That's one day of riding
bikers
in
like
Ragbri.
beer, whether you know they're motorcycle or bicycles, and it's great fun. It's great exercise, and you get to see so much when you bike. I mean,
That you miss in a car.
I was going to say that first, doing Ragbri the first time, that was the thing that always caught me. I wanted to stop and take a picture every 10 minutes. You'd hit some stretch of road, and it would be cornfields and the perfect picturesque, like barns, like Grant Wood, Marvin Cohen kind of images.
Did you get a pork chop?
Oh, yeah. Got a pork chop.
From Pork Chop Man?
Yeah, Pork Chop Man.
Chop!
Pancake guy. Some kind of pancake guy. He had this whole system set up where he was like dropping 3 pancakes at a time all the way down this 20-foot fry rack. I mean,
by the time he got back to the beginning, it was ready to flip?
Yeah. Oh, man, it's amazing. Some of these people really have it down. But, I mean, the hard part for me is the crew that I roll with drink Grain Belt and Pat's Blue Ribbon and Hams if they can find it. Hams is the go-to. And when we go to those small
Gotta
towns,
keep you regular on that right now.
they're like, hey,
you're yelling, I'm melting.
I just kept. I felt like I was like ostracized because I was like, I just can't drink another Grain Belt. I'm sorry, I just can't do it. You know, Miller Lite's probably just as bad, but I was like, oh my gosh, I'll have to bleep that out. Can I not say Miller Lite on the podcast?
I don't know. You can give your own opinion.
Yeah. It was
a free country.
Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind Miller Lite, but drinking Grain Belt like after a really hot day was kind of rough for me personally. But that's just, I don't know.
So like I said, there's a beer for everybody.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, it's not a bad beer.
It's a perfect segue into that's why there's a beer for everyone.
Yeah. I can't. I would keep thinking about Chickawawa and cocktails in 2 weekends. I can't wait.
It does really well in cocktails. I mean, it's fine.
How have you heard people mix it? How have you heard some of people do what with it?
Oh, well, he was just telling you about Pim's Cup. Anything that says, lemonade or lemon and any kind of soda it's good in. It's great in vodka drinks. It's just about anything. Think of a fun, summery drink.
I was going to try and make some Jell-O with it.
Yeah, Jess has been making some popsicles with them.
Yeah.
Put them in our freezer, and then they knock over, and then we get just beer and shit all over the ground.
Sir.
You guys really do experiment. I like to see it. It's outside the brewery. Jello and freezer pops.
And I was looking for one of those fish sort of bundt cake Jello molds. I thought that would be like classy, but not.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I know, right?
Oh,
Throw
shit,
the
yeah.
carrots in it too.
No, not in the.
Not in that one. All right, no, just for color. Doesn't matter. Maybe some
carrots?
marshmallows.
No.
I was thinking those old sort of squishy sugar candies that we sort of yellow.
Gummy bears?
Might have had. No, they used to have the orange. You know, the oranges.
You should put Swedish fish in it.
Oh, there you go.
Swedish fish.
Yeah.
Swedish.
What's Swedish fish?
Yeah, they're like gummy bears with a gummy fish. Swedish
Gummy fish?
Yeah, they're called
But they're
Swedish fish.
Swedish
But they're
fish.
Swedish fish.
Oh, all right.
So home base for
Mixing
you
it.
guys is
It's Cedar Rapids.
and
Yeah.
I hear there's some potential flood alerts going on there.
There is,
Big
and
time.
in
You guys
Palo,
have
and
so many cool new places downtown and all around there. Does that
Right.
affect everything that's going
yeah.
on?
some of our favorite hangouts are right on the river there. So it's supposed to be cresting today.
Today at 18 feet, which is right at our flood wall level.
Wow.
Right.
So we'll see what happens. And luckily the rain stopped. If we had had a couple more days, it might have pushed it because we had a couple storms there for those couple days that just, even for me, was a tad shocking how much rain was coming down.
You know who's listening to this going, fuck you. It's the people down in Texas that are in droughts,
Oh.
and they have to listen to people that are like, oh yeah, we've gotten too much
Southern
rain.
California too.
Yeah,
There you go.
Yeah, we have too much water. You bastards.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, they got all the money, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There you go.
there you go.
The Colorado River doesn't end at the ocean anymore because of LA. So
Yeah.
they can deal with their own shit.
Well, hey guys, thank you very much for taking the time and letting us check out your brewery and all the different flavors. And
I think it's the epitome of a craft beer brewery. It's always trying something new and finding that beer for everybody that you've said a couple times. I mean,
yeah, and if you want to check out Great River Brewery, you can go to their website, which is
www.greatriverbrewery.com.
nice.
pretty simple, right?
Straightforward.
Right there. And on that website, I really liked your website. Checked it out earlier. It has a lot of different pages on it, and you can find where they're selling your beer, and you can find out what's happening in the area, and you can check out their brew tours, which is Friday at 6 p.m. and Saturday from 12 to 4, right? So come on down, check it out. I really dug their beers. I normally am a light beer type of fella. I don't venture out very much with the beer or the heavy alcohol, but I got to tell you, and I'll tell everybody at home, I loved everything I tasted so far. So far, A+ to you guys. I loved it. I loved everything that you have to offer. The uniqueness, the artistry of the cans, your glassware. Come down here and check it out. And they got some big events this summer.
Fountain.
I like the fountain too.
Oh, yeah. The
I really like the fountain. Which here, you want to see another picture of the fountain? Boink. There it is. I'll put it on there. So thank you very much, guys, for being on the podcast today.
Paul, Scott, thanks, guys. We really appreciate having us.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
Thanks for
thanks.
coming out.
So hey, we've just finished with the Great River Brewery. What a wonderful bunch of guys and
I'm telling
great
you,
beers.
It's things like this that happen that it makes you stop and go, wait a second. There's a reason why these things happen. That's why we started this podcast.
to meet great people.
To meet awesome people. And we met him, and then we met, like, the arborist here in town who helped them get the tables that they have in their tasting room that
Yeah.
were got from fallen trees, from certain storms,
Right.
from certain things.
Yep.
It's like the stories just keep compounding and compounding. It's just...
Yeah, I think it's pretty great. So what we're going to talk about? We're going to finish up our current events. You're going to talk about some crappy
Yeah, the best
child
part about a
pornography.
Podcast, the best part about a podcast is when you say, "So, what are we going to talk about?" So,
Yeah.
what are we going to talk about?
Hey, well, people got to stay on their toes. They got to figure out what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
What's coming next?
What is today, by the way?
You might not like what happened 10 minutes ago, which I don't know how you couldn't because it was a fucking brewery, and if you like to drink beer, and if you don't, then fuck off.
No, you don't look at the
Oh,
watch.
I forgot, but today is the 24th
4th of July.
of June. July?
Sorry.
What's wrong with you? I don't have a Chuck Kavanaugh watch yet, but I'm working on it.
Yet.
But it's in
You have to start-
design.
That's what you had to start saying. I say, I don't have Chuck Kavanaugh watch.
Yeah,
Yet.
it's in design, and
Yet.
I have to go pick out a watch. I got to go. I mean, the band basically. I told them everything I wanted with the
Yeah.
band, And the only thing that I haven't talked to him about is the TPSP,
Yeah.
right? That's really the only thing. But yeah, the Great River Brewery down here, it's really fucking great. There wasn't a beer that I didn't enjoy drinking down here.
I'm going to say the only thing that I personally wasn't like, whoa.
They didn't knock your socks off?
Was the, I just ruined your camera shot. I just did like that. The triple. The Tripel.
I liked it. I liked it all.
I discovered is I'm just not a Tripel guy.
Right.
And it's not their Tripel, and it's not the goddamn Belgian awesome shit that we got that we brought over from Europe. It's more of just like it's just not my thing. But guess what? Of the 6 beers that we try, which is 4 short of their regular beers, there's 4 we didn't get a chance to try.
Right.
They were fantastic. I mean, they're really good.
Yeah, I mean, just doing those little drinks, I really, I got a little bit off my rocker.
The samples, you mean?
Matt needs a little food because I haven't eaten in a while, and a little water. We were outside. It's a great hangout down here.
If you can see over Matt's shiny bald head, there's
what a son of a bitch. Really?
We got the roller dam over here, and this spot, this corner here. I couldn't imagine it'd be a better spot for a brewery.
It's a great place for a brewery, especially with all the events that happen throughout the summer.
The Jazz Fest.
Yeah, the Blues Fest, all that stuff. It's great. This whole area is a wonderful place. If you wanted to go for the weekend and go hang out with your significant other and just enjoy the nightlife, enjoy the different things that you're not going to normally see in some of these big towns.
And if you think about the idea that you talked about in the past of not, what's my town?
Hey, what's in my city?
What's in my city?
What's so great about your town?
About this? We're an hour and 15 minutes from Cedar Rapids,
Right.
and we are way into Davenport. Right, the Mississippi is right there, and they told you 5 things that were going on the next month.
Right.
And there's not just like a couple things happening. They bring thousands and thousands of people down to this area.
There was other things that we wanted to talk about with current events and stuff like that. What's happening in the world today?
Well, I think one of the bigger things right now is that because of ISIS going through the Middle East.
And ISIS is what?
I don't know what it stands for.
ISIS is it's this new faction.
But they want an Islamic
that's
state.
Coming through.
They want to connect Syria, Iran, and Iraq back to a true Islamic state from back in the day.
Yep.
And they're rolling through Iraq and they're pillaging it as they go. There's still a faction.
I mean, it's a militant faction that's trying to take back what they think is theirs.
Well, it's the
and
Sunnis,
give it back to the people.
It's the Sunnis.
So what?
Versus another group of people that have been tribal things that have been happening for
but there's
thousands of years.
Are you ever going to make everybody happy? There's going to be different tribes of people. You could say there's a tribe of Republicans and there's a tribe of Democrats. You could say that. You could label people that way. We're all humans, Right. Humanity is too large to fail. And to try to say that, well, this faction is against that faction, we're all human beings. So we're all just trying to they're just trying to take things back to what they think is in their best interest, in their people's best interest.
Yeah.
And I can't say that America is in their best interest.
Well, I think that along your point is the idea that somehow because something is happening in the Middle East, that for some reason we need to be involved. That's
why
the bigger
exactly?
Issue. Why do we have to be involved at all? And I
the last few weeks have been really, you can just see it. You can just see the war machine fucking revving up and trying to get people.
And the funniest part, and Jon Stewart's done a wonderful thing with this, is all of the exact same people who drummed up war for Iraq, who had
to begin with
weapons of mass destruction, all the bullshit that always turned out to be turned out to be true,
false.
Are back on TV again doing the same exact
So
thing.
why would you believe them?
Because it's the media.
I don't know if it's me or if it's everybody out there, but if you've lived through this, if you were aware of all this, I mean, to say that I'm enlightened is kind of a bullshit term. I mean, if you have awakened your fact to, oh, what? There was no weapons of mass destruction? Oh, that's why we went into Iraq to begin with? Oh, there's a ton of Americans, military kids that have died or been traumatized by this because all based on a lie.
Well, when you have 75% of the public now that feels it was not a good idea to have gone to war, and that's three-quarters of the population of the United States that's saying we shouldn't have gone.
I mean, I understand being upset and pissed off and wanting to retaliate because of what happened on 9/11, but at some point 9/11 stops, and this new thing, this new war machine, we have to spend money on war and killing starts.
Right.
You know?
I do think the good part is, though, I think Syria almost prepped us. Because we could see Obama and people getting ready to go into Syria. And the population said, listen, we don't want to do this. It's bleeding over to this now. We're saying, whoa, we've done enough. We're not going to keep doing this.
Doesn't it seem a little crazy that we tried pumping up this whole Syria thing and the public said, fuck off, we're not doing it. And so we stopped talking about Syria, but let's figure out a different way to spend money militarily.
Right.
On something else.
It might have been, and I honestly think that the idea behind Syria, I think the Iraq War and the Afghan War probably lessened the opportunity to actually truly help people. Like the people in Syria. I mean, he was gassing his own people, bombing civilians. So
dude, we send our own people to a war that's unfounded.
I'm saying if we hadn't done it in Afghanistan, if we hadn't done it in Iraq, like we did in Somalia, like we did in Croatia and things like that, when they were having their civil wars, we went in and we helped. We didn't go and just kill people. We went in and kind of saw if we could help.
I mean, there's
out.
a real big reason why people are pissed off at the United States because we aid. We put all our money, we arm certain groups of people, and then 10 or 20 years from now, those people turn around and become a real problem with what the American interest is. And what exactly is the American interest? The American interest is corporations.
And money and
oil. And, you know what? We need to stop. Truly, I said this a couple podcasts ago, but we really need to stop thinking so much about economics and money and having that drive humanity and start thinking about humanity and what is best for people.
So say that again.
You might speak a different language.
Say that again. We need to stop focusing on money, but focus on humanity.
Yeah,
instead.
we need to stop focusing on money and where we can kill people and start focusing on humanity and education and our kids and what type of life do we want to live. We don't need to focus on what's going on over an ocean. Is that person or that group of people an ocean away going to really affect us truly?
I think the difficult part right now in America is that instead of somebody saying and going, listening to this and saying, okay, that makes sense. I understand that. Instead, they're going to say, well, you're a fucking liberal. So from that point on, we're not going to listen to what you have to say. What you have to say doesn't really matter.
You really need to decide on what type of person are you deciding to be. Are you deciding to be the type of person that thinks of their own interests? Are you that type of person? Or are you the type of person that says, you know what, these are the types of freedoms that everybody needs to be inherently given. Freedom of speech, freedom of religion. I mean, if it's legal, if we cherish something here in the United States, we should cherish it overseas. We should cherish it in the middle of the ocean.
Right.
There's something that was on the news organizations the other day that talked about, there's a spokesperson from the NSA, that a lady that was talking about, we are dragging our feet to bring this person back that we think is responsible for this certain terrorist activity. We are dragging our feet and we're keeping them out to sea because once they land on American soil, they have American rights.
Sure.
You know what?
They should.
No. If we are as good as we say we are, the things that we hold to be true should apply to everyone. You shouldn't torture anybody. Everybody should have the right to speak. Everybody should have freedom of religion. So to say, as Americans, we're holding somebody in the middle of the ocean to torture them, because that's basically what she was saying.
Right.
To torture them before and drag their feet before they get back. Now, what she said was, we're trying to develop a relationship with this person. Now, that's just the PC way of saying we're torturing this person before we get to back to the United States, because once they touch American soil, now they have rights.
Well, so the argument to that is, so you're going to allow people whose misinterpretation of their religion say that they are supposed to kill us or die killing us to please God. And so it's irrational for you to take American ideals and thoughtfulness and apply it to people that are not thinking that way.
So to say, well, we're torturing this person out in the middle of the ocean, well, we're dragging our feet. You should be appalled by that. You should absolutely be appalled by that, because if you were taken, or I was taken, because we were suspected of anything,
Right.
and you and I know we're not in any way
Sure.
linked with any terrorist organization, but if we were taken from our children, from our family, and we had no legal counsel, and we were waterboarded out at sea because we're not on American soil anymore, would you be down with that? Would anybody be down with that? No.
Yeah.
No, and you really need to think of the bigger picture.
Stop for just 1 second.
You stop for a second.
What you were saying is really wonderful. I don't want to,
Okay.
That's good stuff. So dumb.
Thank you very much, Todd.
You would do the same for me.
Know what I'm saying? It doesn't, just because you're drinking doesn't mean you're not right.
Well, you know what? That idea of a foreign policy of treating everybody as you want to be treated, applying the golden rule to everybody.
Yeah.
There's going to be people that say that it's just it's irrational. It's not smart. So you have to play it to everybody too. So we're going to do it here with. So, but when it comes to international or national people who break the law, then they have the opportunity to be really in trouble. So so you have somebody that kills somebody else. So they're not done. They're not just.
There's really truly we're talking about two different things.
Okay.
We're talking about two separate things, and as a society in America, we mesh them two together, and we don't understand the intricacies of these two things. If you have a lot of money, you're set in this category. If you don't have a lot of money, but you're jeopardizing the people that do have a lot of money, you're in this category. And that category is generally terrorists. And this category is generally economics. Okay? The bankers in 2008 did something that affected more people than what happened in 2011.
You said 2011.
I'm sorry, September 11th,
Okay.
2001.
Okay.
The bankers, they affected so many people. Over in Europe, everybody filing for bankruptcy and going with the EU. That affects a shit ton more people than September 11th.
Right.
2 buildings going down versus the banking system in Wall Street crashing and ruining. Do we focus on that, or do we focus on 2011 and terrorists? Truly, there's people that are pissed off at the United States for legitimate reasons. Are they truly going to affect the majority of us, or just a small percentage? Now compare that to the bankers and what happened in 2008. Is that going to happen? Is that going to affect a small portion of people, or a majority of the people?
Right.
And that's going to happen. That's going to affect the majority of people. So in 2008, to me personally, that was a much larger terrorist attack on American soil and around the world than anything that could have happened in 2001, September 11th.
Okay, that makes sense to me. I just think
Did I go a little crazy? I apologize.
No, but I think the simplicity of the idea of treating everybody how we want to be treated when it comes to international affairs is probably a pretty good policy. We definitely have gotten ourselves into deeper and deeper trouble because of all the things we've done. Even Rand Paul.
Yeah,
now,
we continue to piss people off by being in their area.
Even Rand Paul now is saying that we've created all these jihadists.
Correct.
Because we've done all these things.
Right. And if you need a link to that article where Ron Paul talks about this, I'll have it in the link below.
It's on RT, so you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, it's on RT.
But
Look it up.
we don't always agree with Rand Paul on a majority of things. But when he and his dad talk about foreign policy of we've got to step back and pull all of our troops back and take care of ourselves and let the world sort themselves out.
The
idea behind strong military and presence outside of the U.S. is to stop things from happening like World War I, World War II. So that turned into the communists, which brought us, Korea and Vietnam.
Sure.
Right? And so, I mean,
Right.
if those are the ones that give you the reasoning or the thought that it really is the military-industrial complex that causes all these issues, because they find these things that you have to be worried about, and then, oh, you know what, we need nuclear weapons, or no, we need these handguns, or we need these tanks. Think about the tanks we just bought. We just bought a shitload of tanks that we're never going to use. They're parked somewhere, but somebody needed a payoff, and so they paid this company.
You know what? Show of hands right now. Show of hands. How many people want to go back to a war that they don't truly believe in?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And how many people truly want to go to war with somebody based on economic reasons? Okay. So do we feel like, yes or no, that America is safe? And if we are unsafe, then we should probably focus on why are we unsafe? The shipping containers that come into America, our borders. Shouldn't we beef that stuff up instead of going overseas and killing people, killing women and children? I mean, there's a lot of collateral damage when it comes to war, and I think that we forget about that stuff a lot of times when we think of, it's a terrorist. We're going after a terrorist. Well, there's a lot more people that die than just terrorists.
But we also put more importance.
There's American soldiers.
There's more importance on an American than there is somebody else. So that goes back to
why is that?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It goes back to your idea of treat us how you want to be treated. We're all on equal playing field.
Everybody, every human being is important. It's not the banks that are too big to fail. It's humanity that is too big to fail. It's the people that are in Davenport that are too big to fail. It's the people that are in Cedar Rapids that are too big to fail. It's everybody that goes out and has fun and has a wife and has kids. Your kids are too big to fail. And your kids are no more important than Russian kids, than Islamic kids, than Muslim kids. Every person that is alive and has children loves their children, and we are all the same. So you want to call me a liberal? Call me a liberal. But it doesn't make what I said untrue.
Right.
You know?
Or not untrue necessarily, but that's not that we shouldn't be thinking that way. We really should be approaching the rest of the world in a way of...
Even for a second, think of yourself and put yourself in somebody else's shoes and think, well, what would happen if China came over here and said, well, America, they got weapons of mass destruction. We should probably invade and tell everybody how to live their lives. We would probably revolt. I mean, try to put yourself in somebody else's shoes. Try to put yourself, flip the script every now and then and be aware of it. I mean, there's other things in the news. What else is happening in the news? I mean, I don't want to get totally tied down in politics, but what else is in the news?
I think the important part of the idea behind that, thinking you're getting bogged down in politics is if we made it a little more simpler and we were looking out for each other all the time and we're thinking of people other than ourselves.
I totally agree.
It would be, and some people will say, well, I think about other people. I give 10% of my income to whatever charity. That's awesome. But that doesn't mean that you can stop. You don't need to stop and say, wait a second. Am I doing everything I can to make sure I better humanity, period? I don't just give cash to people. How am I living? How am I treating people? How am I living my life? Well, you think about Ben Johnson, that Tough Mudder that happened a couple months ago. I still think of him from time to time because I'm like,
absolutely.
Because I'm just like, God, he was such a great guy. Had so much fun.
Wonderful person.
He added to that experience. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
From this point on, I will probably buy a lot of Great River Brewery beers. But part of it in the back of my mind is going to be, I hung out with Scott and Paul and Don, set us up with so much stuff.
That's correct.
Wendy did a great job feeding us beer throughout the entire time.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Wendy. I got to walk down to the next place to have some food because I can't drive home. Thank you, Wendy.
So, I mean, you add, all those experiences add to what it is that we enjoy each day in our lives. And so I think the idea behind getting to know more people, I mean, that when Kat talked about earlier in the podcast of people volunteering and canning just for a couple hours, just coming for 2 hours. I was like, shit, I can give you somebody 2 hours.
Well, you know
That's
what?
Nothing.
You and I wouldn't know that unless we took the time to reach out. And this isn't even our immediate community.
No.
We're from Cedar Rapids. This is Davenport.
I met Alex at the tasting shop.
Right. And if it wasn't
Tasting
for
shop.
us to tasting shop tent, it was a tent.
It was a Great River Brewery tent
Yeah.
at the Newbo Market beer tasting.
But that's
event.
what it took to
Yeah.
get us. You know what? I would almost tell everybody to start a podcast, because once you start something like this, it makes you go out and live life. If you felt like you were just sitting at home,
I want to meet
watching-
people. I want to know somebody.
Yeah, if you're just sitting at home thinking, I'm watching Ally McBeal again, or I'm watching MASH again, or I'm watching what are the people that find antiques? What are those people?
Fine.
The antique people.
Antique Roadshow?
No,
American Pickers?
American Pickers.
That's me, though.
If I'm just sitting at home watching American Pickers, you know what? Be your own American Picker. Meet people. Start something. Interview people. Find that little... This is our icebreaker. This is our personal icebreaker to meet people that are really profoundly interesting. People that have taken a chance. People that have created something. People that are beyond the norm. And a lot of people, I think, get sucked into the norm and they think, oh, it's Miller Lite, it's Busch Light, it's this. We go to Hy-Vee and we buy these certain things. And you got to bust out of that norm and find out what's going on around you.
Something, and you may not like it. It may not be a wonderful experience.
Well, the neat
but
thing
guess
about
what? The chances are
Yeah.
is that when you take a chance, you're pleasantly surprised
Yeah.
at the wonderful things that come around.
And we've said it before, we'll say it again. If you never ask, the answer is always no.
Yeah.
But if you ask, sometimes the answer is yes. And that yes, what brought us to the Great River Brewery down here, and we got to meet wonderful people that were very funny.
Well, if I had sat back and I had Alex's awesome business card, which is really great, by the way, and I sat back and was like, oh,
I'm too nervous. Maybe he'll never say yes.
He said they'd be interested, but I don't know. I don't know if I want to call and talk to anybody. It was never a thought in my mind, and I think that's one of the reasons why this is working, is that there hasn't been a time yet where I haven't thought, I talked to him. I'm going to call him. It's going to work out okay.
Well, everybody, this is our icebreaker. You know, the podcast is an icebreaker, and a lot of people feel like, what makes me so special to go down and talk to people and get to know people?
Well, we're not special.
No, we're not special, but it's an icebreaker, and you need to figure out your own icebreakers to get out of your norm.
Or use us. Say, hey, I heard you guys on the Primal Scream podcast.
Exactly.
I got to have a beer, man.
Exactly. Hey, what was that special beer you found? Oh, it's a Chickawawa. I love the Chickawawa, and I love mixing it with some
lemon-infused vodka and mix it with the Chickawawa over ice. Perfection.
Now, here's a really cool thing. That chocolate beer that they brought out, it really blew my mind. It really, really did, because, it wasn't dark. You look at the beer and it's not dark.
But that's the craziest part, is that you could...
the aroma, the flavor of the beer. Honestly, out of everything that has happened so far, of us being down here, the coolest thing that I think is a business that allows for creativity.
Yeah.
A business that isn't afraid of trying different things. I mean, that's the type of thing that really makes me kind of awe-inspired.
If Paul hadn't been at that one brewery, if you were lucky, once a year you got to go upstairs and be creative, to when he went to another brewery that said, do whatever the hell you want, then all of a sudden he was like, wait a second. So we can discover new things and try new things and have the next greatest beer out there because we're allowing people to be creative. Yeah. I mean, I met one young lady today. She's still training to be a brewer and work in the brewery. And my first thought after listening to Paul and Scott talk was, who's to say that in 5 years she doesn't come up with the next greatest goddamn thing for Great River Brewery?
Yeah,
you know
absolutely.
What I mean? The possibility is there. It's one more brain.
It's
that's
there
working.
only because the possibility for stepping and looking outside the box is there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of corporations that say, well, this is our signature recipe, and you just need to do this so that we create this X amount of profit. Whereas the Great River Brewery, they're constantly experimenting. They're constantly pushing the boundaries. And, like the Chickawawa, they said that was a 2-year-long process of trying to fine-tune that beer. And I can really appreciate that, because when you think of the economic push on somebody that owns a business, you're taking 2 years of ingredients, of people's time, of the equipment's time.
Taking a chance.
Taking a
chance for 2 years.
There's a lot of time and a lot of money that goes into experimenting.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that because I really like the Chihuahua.
And I appreciate it, too, because I think about this podcast. It hasn't been a year yet. But
That's true.
It's an experiment. We're taking a chance. We're trying new things. And we're always trying to see if we can up the next thing that happens.
Up.
Step up.
Step up.
Step up. To the next thing.
Overdue?
No, overdue.
Not overdue?
No, it's not step
Are you okay?
up. It's not step up.
What is
You're
it?
right. I'm trying to... And I'm not intoxicated. I'm trying to think of what the next step
I
would
still
be.
am because the beers here, I was really pretty amazed that the drinks here were as high alcohol percentage as they were. The little you come down here and you test all the little, you take a little taste test.
Get a flight, please.
Get a flight. Try out all the little different types of beers. And I guarantee you, this is my personal guarantee to you. If you try all the different beers from Great River Brewery, if you're not hooked, if you don't find an absolute personal favorite,
Yeah.
then you know what? I'm wrong. Then you can call me a fool. Make all the terrible comments that you want on YouTube. But I guarantee you that you will find something that you truly enjoy.
Oh, I said it on the podcast earlier. You find times and you try new beers, new breweries, things like that, and I love doing it. I love it. But you find the skunker once in a while, or a couple. And of that whole flight, there was not any beers that I thought was like,
Yeah, truly,
okay,
there was not one beer that I wouldn't be like, oh, you know what? I could drink this all night.
The whole flight was pretty fantastic. Yeah.
And I like the presentation, everything that goes into the Great River Brewery. I mean, there's a lot of thought that goes into everything. You know, the what's on the cans, the artistic scene that's on the cans.
Yeah.
When you come in and you check out the tasting room, all these things. There's so many unique things about this place. You're doing yourself a disservice if you don't come down and check it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just one of those. I hate to say seven wonders of the world. That's probably a little bit too much.
Just a tad.
It's just a tad too much, but it is one of those little jewels.
Yeah.
It's a jewel in your community, and if you're not coming down, or you take a road trip, fuck it, take a road trip. Check this place out.
Absolutely.
Because you're going to find something. You're going to walk in and go, oh, this is what Matt and Todd are talking about. Oh, these are the benches. These are the tables that they were talking about. Oh, these are the glasses that they were talking about. And yes, this is a really neat place to hang out.
Absolutely.
Along the river.
All right, buddy, it's been real.
Has it been that real?
It's been good.
What are we going to do from here?
We have Janine Benson up next week. She's a hypnotherapist.
Okay, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Are you going to get put under?
Yep, I'm going under first.
Are we going to be able to videotape it?
Yes, we are.
Are you at all nervous about how stupid you may or may not look?
No, because she's not like that. Now, if Doug was putting me under...
She is a professional. And, hey, Doug, if Doug were to put you under, he wouldn't make you look stupid either.
No, he wouldn't either. But if I was in one of Doug's comedy scenes...
Yeah,
yes,
if you were
he
up on
would.
stage.
And then I would be nervous. If he or she were putting me under for therapeutic reasons, I'm not nervous at all.
You know what I think you should do? I think you should try some of my Silva Ultramind meditation CDs and kind of rev yourself up. Get in that mindset of easily being able to put yourself under and trying to be able to focus on what you're hearing instead of what you're seeing.
I'm friends with Silva on Facebook.
You are friends with Silva?
Yeah, I'll get some more information.
I'll tell you what, if we could do a podcast with Silva, it'd blow my mind. Just because I've been somewhat pseudo attached to them and their product for 11 years. No,
nice.
wait. 13 years now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, 13 years. And I still listen to the guy who did the hypnosis and the recordings. This is O.J. Silva, Ultramind System, 2000, published in 2001. I mean, it's kind of neat to think eventually maybe you could do that. Yeah. But again, this is our icebreaker. Who knows? Maybe we could get in there and try that.
Yeah, you never know.
So when are we going to... Who are the next people that are going to be on the podcast? Who are we looking for?
So the hypnotherapists.
Yes.
She's next.
Yes.
And then after that, I'm not sure.
Okay. Wait a second. Not so sure. We got Dr. David Moen coming up. That's a for sure thing.
Yep, for sure.
We have another comedian coming up from Penguins Comedy Club. Thank you very much, Penguins Comedy Club, for supplying us amazing comedians.
Thank you, Jeff. We appreciate that.
Yeah, Jeff Johnson.
You bet.
U.S. Entertainment. And what else?
I went
maybe Samantha Harris.
I went golfing.
Hopefully.
I went golfing I went to the driving range yesterday.
What in the hell? There was no segue to this.
No, and I was signing up for emails to get emails from the golf course I was at, and I was behind Jeff and Nicole.
Wait a second.
Is Jeff?
You went to a golf course and you didn't invite me, you son of a bitch.
I went with my brother-in-law and our kids.
You know what? Fuck him.
You would not have enjoyed it at all.
Fuck him. Oh, okay. Never mind then. Never mind.
We had a great time together. But
you had a great time, but not with me. I understand.
It was herding cats. Let's just put it that way. So.
God, there was kids.
Yeah. So, but I was behind. I signed up for emails from them, and there was Jeff and Nicole.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They must have been golfing the day before or something like that, too. So I was like, I know him.
I know that fella.
I know that guy. Yeah, I know him.
Yay.
Yeah.
Well, hey, should we wrap it up?
Yeah,
should we wrap things up?
Yep.
Okay, well, anyway, I'm Matt.
I am Todd.
And today's podcast is brought to you by It Works. Ladies and gentlemen, It Works. And It Works has a lot of different things. You might see them in that wrap thing, and you might want to try that if you're a lady, or if you're a guy. They also have multivitamins, daily supplements, and green mixes. I try to I drink green mix every day.
I green mix twice to 3 times a day.
Twice to 3 times a day. Todd goes back and forth.
I don't know that I get all that I need to get every day. So at the end of the night, I might get a little bit more. I know it has a little bit of energy boost in it, but it hasn't come in from sleeping at all. So once in a while,
you know what?
My greens are a little high, but that's okay.
Yeah, I totally endorse it. I feel great when I'm doing that stuff, and it's portable. Like you saw earlier, you can take portable greens, orange flavor or berry flavor, and the berry flavor is a little bit more sweet. So if you really got a sweet tooth, that'll satiate that. But thanks again to Great River Brewery and everybody that talked to us today and allowed us to go through their brewery system and give us a tour.
Yep, and please feel free to follow us on Facebook, follow us on Stitcher and iTunes, follow us on Twitter. The website is theprimalscream.org. You can find just about everything there. Pinterest, I've been doing a lot of Pinterest too lately because I've been finding a lot of manly shit that I like putting on there.
Manly shit. A-frame.
Yep. So, please follow us on all those opportunities. And hopefully in the next 3 or 4 months, we'll have a new webpage, a new website for you to look at, a little more user-friendly.
Yep.
Facebook will be linked up to that. But see all of that coming soon when it comes Labor Day in September.
A lot of new things happening with the Primal Scream.
The Primal Scream and TPS Productions has TPSP Productions has brought this to you, and we hope you had a good time.
And if you are on a trip, if you're driving somewhere, check out the podcast. But if you're at home and you want to see what's going on, hey, what does Matt look like? What does Todd look like? Tricked you. You're never going to know what Todd looks like. Todd is an enigma wrapped inside of a question, sugar-coated in what the fuck? So you'll never know what he looks like, but you will know what some of our guests look like. And I encourage you to go to YouTube and check out the Primal Scream podcast. If you type that in, you'll come across our YouTube page. And if you click on Matt and Todd, you'll go to our YouTube.
Subscribe, please.
Subscribe, yeah. Like us. Give us a thumbs up. And put comments on there to say, hey, we got this going on in our community. Why don't you come see us? Or you guys suck, and maybe you shouldn't say this, or you shouldn't say that. Or maybe you should have your camera set up a different way. I'm totally up for positive
We're always
feedback.
learning. We are always learning.
So anyway, thank you again for everybody following us on this day of the Primal Scream podcast at the Great River Brewery. I'm Matt.
I am Todd.
And we'll see you later.
Adios.
Good night.